Hey guys, we're live. I'm just trying to get this figured out real quick here. Just bear with me as YouTube is the YouTube dashboard is having some bugs. It would appear. So just give me 1 second. Yeah, it's giving me errors here on the dashboard. Um, Hopefully, I can grab a link to this somehow. Give me 1 second. See if I can do it through the system. Audio presentation, screen switcher, project packager, scene switcher. Let's see what that is. Nope. Ah! Cancel. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to somehow go back and edit this. Um, okay, let me see if I can get a link to this. Okay, I can see it now here. Get shareable link. Got it. Okay, copy to clipboard. All right, and let's see. I'll post this to Twitter. Okay. All right, and we're live. Okay, good stuff. So I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Sorry for the little inconvenience there with the upload stream. Today, I just want to kind of go over a couple different things. One of the things that I found really interesting today was just all the double inside days that we had from yesterday. And everybody who follows me, has followed me for a while knows I really like the double inside day because it's a strategy that you can trade in an up and down market, up or down market, because when a price goes inside, especially at a double inside day, when it goes an inside day, it's there's indecision in when the price is, right? Because if it breaks to the upside, it's going up. If it breaks to the downside, it's going down. But if it goes inside, it's still trying to decide what to do. When it goes double inside, it gives you just a little more oomph, a little more power where it tries to make a decision. So I use the VWAP as a guide if it opens in the middle. If you gap above it, I look to either fade back to it and go back in the range. So there's a lot of opportunities today, really more than I can do from my phone. I definitely needed to be, sitting at the screen to catch a bunch of things. But the target was one I was able to catch earlier, and I kind of want to show that. So right here, you can see yesterday that that it definitely put in a inside day, and then the next day put in a double inside day, right? So here's your mother bar, went inside here, and then this bar went inside that bar. So you have they're basically wedging in, right? So wedge is another technical pattern where if it breaks, it's you can get some real movement. So with target, you can see it opened inside the range, it went down, and then eventually it came back up, right? So I caught this, I had an alert set, and when it broke either side, you can see this one never triggered to the downside, but the first alert that went off to the upside was interesting. And so it happened here, and you guys know my favorite time frames to trade are the hourlies. When it traded here today, right, this green line here represents the break. So I actually traded the break, but look at that. I like to trade the hours, and I like to trade hammers. So I've got a hammer, it was a red hammer though, don't like to trade those in the first hour. So around 11:30, right, we around 11, this bar closes, and so we move to the next bar. So you get this beautiful hammer, continuation hammer, momentum hammer over the VWAP. And so look, and it closed right at the top of the day. So that signal right there, you're basically looking at really high probability that you're going to get some extension after that. So around there, I entered, got some calls, and it started to go green, and then it pulled back in a little bit. But your stop, really your mental stop with options, is going to be at the low of this bar, which is below the VWAP anyway. So you want to go long over the VWAP, right? Short under the VWAP. So obviously it never got close to stopping out, and then it really extended. This is a great bar right here. I think somewhere here, as it kind of went halfway, I took profit, moved my stop up, to profit, and then it just kept going. And the target, for some reason, I don't know if it's the gamma on it or what the case is, but when it works, and it pulls back a little bit, the options don't don't go down like as if you were trading like a Facebook or something like that. So I mean, this one just really worked great today, and yeah, and it continued, and I just kept trimming, and it took off a call, and then moved the others up, and then eventually just took profit. So that was a really good trade today. I also traded Lowe's Corporation, LOW, on the double inside day, and this was I liked this one because it came around at the same time, and this one occurred in the middle of the range, so it gave a good example of when you would look at the use the VWAP as a guidance, right? So just kind of zooming into Lowe's here, we've got right inside day. Here's mother bar, inside day, and then this one went that side. So you have your double inside day wedge, and then the idea was that you trade a break to the upside, but this wasn't moving as fast as the other ones today, so it gave me an opportunity. I was pretty busy today, so give me an opportunity to look, see what it was doing, and then kind of give a very similar situation here. And so this one, target was perfect because you get the break of the day plus a hammer. This one gave you a little, you had to give a little more time to work, and so this gave you a very similar hammer, over the VWAP, and then it pulled back a little bit more. You can see it retraced about halfway. And that was kind of annoying. Obviously your stop is right here, but I still never like to see anything pull back after I'm in it. But I mean, look at that, boom, boom, boom. It was just like straight green bars, and then boom. So then it gave you another hammer to get into right at the top of the inside day break. And so I traded this, moved my stops up, ended up being flat on the trade, just because these options didn't move quite like Target did. But it was still, you can see, I mean, obviously if you had the common shares, you would have been up. Your entry would have been 105.42, and it went all the way up as high as 106.56. So you're talking about a 1 point move right there, which is a good deal, right? So that was good, and you can see even here the 5 MA crossed over the 10 MMA, and just gave just that little more signal that things were going up. So those were two of the big trades today that were I think really important. Well, I made money on them, so that was good. I did want to follow up on Tesla. I profiled that a few days ago on its double inside day, and of course the market was ripping today altogether. But I did want to show you what if you can catch the right side of the market in a double inside day. I've seen these things. If you buy options out like a week or two, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks or a month. I mean, it can really move, right? So I kind of scalped it yesterday here. So that was your Friday bar that went double inside, and then I traded this. You remember I traded the first break and then failed. It got stopped out of that, but then I did it again over the VWAP. If you remember yesterday, it was I tried to trade that break there. It pulled back in, stopped out, but then it went inside here just over the VWAP, then broke to the upside, and that was an awesome trade. Well, look at the follow through today. I mean, this is just an incredible follow through. For swing type trade, you've got curling MOA here, and then double inside day. If anyone was bold enough to hold Tesla, I mean, it just rocked. And look, it's did it fill that gap yet? 277.67 and a high here. 270. It didn't even fill the gap yet, so there could be some follow through. Again, and look, it's already gapping up $3 because of Netflix bringing the entire Nasdaq up basically on its earnings. So that was that. And pretty much, those were the, some of the major ones that that I wanted to highlight today. Oh, I also wanted to touch on AMD. AMD just ripped today, and I profiled it yesterday. I talked about it yesterday. That was had a great setup at the close, and what I talked about was this. I'm going to zoom in here. Oh, this is the hourlies, of course. This is yesterday. And what I talked about yesterday is here. This gave you a real interesting setup. You had basically shooter, and then this, big extended, red bar follow through. And so you can see my original idea was, if the market was weak, if the futures were pointing down and everything, this would be a good short at that level with a stop right here at the top. You're only talking 18 cents of risk, right? Eventually, so it opens here at the first hour. Everything gapped up this morning. Came back in, so this is you could short it here, right, as it breaks through that range to try to see if you can get some follow through, and if it did, then you got those points there. It failed to do it, and then what you could have done is go back long as it broke this again to the upside in that first hour. So, and then it only closed here. So basically, and your stop would have been at the bottom of that bar. So as it came back up, you go long here at 26.43, and then you can see it only closed here. So you're safe on your stop. It came down, it opened here, tested down just a little bit, and then launched. So you're talking only 18 cents of risk I mean, you got this bar here, that's pretty significant. 50 cents versus 18 cents, and then this bar here, another 60 cents. And then this is where, this is one where probably a lot of people covered. I'm sorry, a lot of people, took profit because you can see that came back in. But I mean, it just kept going all day. I mean, what an incredible trade. But you see how you could have traded that. And, I think a lot of people get intimidated by the open. I mean, it's taken me a while, to see that once you get good at trading the hourlies, there is continuity between each day. And so this one here, was trading. I talked about it last night, but there's just, I just couldn't watch it as if I were like sitting at my trading desk all day. And so, yeah, but I mean, that was an incredible trade. I mean, you could have made buku bucks on that. So those were some good ones going there. And then basically just wanted to, review those trades. And I think I just put on Twitter, JP Morgan, this gave you a double inside day today, which is good because all tech is going to be gapping up like crazy tomorrow. So this one might actually be tradable. It closed at 108.62, and you're basically at 108.62 at the close. So you have a double inside day here. So I'm going to look tomorrow. It might gap up a little bit. I'm going to look to see, what the market's doing in the morning and just see if we can get, some follow through. You could use this bar, which is an engulfing, even though the body isn't engulfing, but the whole bar is engulfing the previous one, so it's very bullish. So I would use that as my trade, and basically your stop is below the VWAP right there, so you're looking at 76 cents of risk, to potentially get, a bar at the open that's, that could be pretty strong. JP Morgan can go, and it actually had good earnings, so now that the market seems to be perking up a little bit on, the Netflix news, you might get some follow through, to the upside there. Or you could use this as your, if this fails, then you could trade it to the downside and then look to take that double inside day to reclaim that range. So if it gaps up and like comes back in, you might look to go, short there and then see if you can follow that through to the downside. Because the market's not out of the woods yet. I mean, today was a great day, but keep in mind that February looked a lot like this too. And so, if you go back to, if I can go back that far, yeah, here's February, right? That was the, let me go to S&P, let's go to the Qs. So you go back to February, look what it did, right? We had a bunch of red days, right? And then you had, like, it didn't quite gap up, but, rally, right? Then it came back in, look, the futures here kind of pointing down. So let's say in general, the market's kind of down, kind of goes there, and then it's just down, down, down again. So, we can't get complacent, on today's rally, right? It's a bigger bar that time. So it was a good day. So, and Netflix put in good earnings, but the market can do whatever it wants to, right? So maybe people will be euphoric and jump in, and the market flushes. So you just got to be prepared. That's why you have, tactics and strategies that work for you. Double inside day is a great one to trade and work with that. So those are the ones there. I'll post probably some more charts when we're done, and on Twitter. In the meantime, I would like to take questions if anybody has any. Feel free to post them in the chat box, and what I'll do is I'm using this new version of this YouTube Studio because the other one's not working, and now I can't see any of the chat messages. So I apologize if you guys are typing in questions here and I can't see them right away. So let me see if I can. No, it keeps on giving me this error. So. I really want to answer some questions if anybody is posting any. Let's see. Obviously, you could post them there. If I don't see it, I'll respond in the message window. or you can just message me on Twitter and I'll get back to you and try to answer your questions. But I hope I hope you found this video enlightening and gave you some prep for for tomorrow, and you could see how you could have been successful today. And even though I missed AMD, at least you can see how you can start looking at trading the open and trying to get some success with that. So hope you guys have a great night and a good trading day tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night.